Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Kai Pacha. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here on the top we've got some URLs. Some nice background art going on, and me bumping the camera because it's a Digital Caveman Presents review. There's that Four Horsemen logo that they like to use with Mythic Legions. A nice big blister in the collector-friendly packaging. Mythic Legions, it says right here on this side. There's this faction. On this side, Kai Pacha, or Kai Pacha. I'm going to call him Kai Pacha. So anyway, here, if you want to pause it right here and read his story, you can do so. And then moving right along, got a barcode, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, some URLs, item numbers. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there, and don't give it to babies. And then finally, moving right along to the back, we've got some nice artwork going on here. Four Horsemen. We've got the cross sail with no names. The Four Horsemen logo again. A lot of text right there that if you want to pause it and read all that, please feel free to do so. And then moving it up a bit, you can pause it here and finish reading it up. And then here are the credits. If you want to pause it here and read all those, please feel free to do so. And then to see the entire collection, please visit mythiclegions.com. And by what I said earlier about collector-friendly packaging, basically this piece of cardboard is held in with some flaps. It's not taped down or anything. And you just kind of slide the cardboard out of the flaps. And that way you can pack it back up if that's something that you want to do, and I'm taking it away when I don't need to. So there you have it, my friends. There is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and the accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers to help us out with some of the smaller accessories. And we'll start with the extra hands because, of course, they're on the front row. So the first set here is a set of grip hands on in and out hinge. And I'm pretty sure we've probably seen these in the line before. At least they look that way. Nice little armored piece. It's got a nice little paint outline on most of it, and the rivets are painted. And it has a nice textural detail in there for it, and there's glove wrinkles and stuff like that, so nicely sculpted. And here's the opposite sides, equal, and everything I said about the other one applies to this one as well. It also applies to the next set of hands, except these are on up and down hinges. And here's the opposite side. So very nice. So next up we have kind of like the splayed out reaching hand, kind of pointing too. It's on in and out hinge, same amount of detail in the sculpt, maybe a little more because the hand is open on this one. You can see more glove wrinkles and stuff like that. And that again all applies to this one as well. So next up, let's take a look at, I guess, his belt accessory, which I know we've seen in the line before, probably not in these colors though. This one has a nice little tampo on it and some stripes. They all have paint for the rope on them, drywall brush. Very good on the decos, even on the backside. Here's a clip where it clips onto one of his belts, or his only belt, I guess. And then he also comes with something I haven't seen in the line before, which is a set of keys. They're all gold except for this one, which is just gold on the bottom and it's silver on the top. So it must be special. I don't know. But they all look really good. They look like they're all keyed the same except for this one. So you got a bunch of different keys. Although the key scheme on this one seems the same as these, but it's smaller. And then so that makes me wonder if like the posts are separate pieces that plug into the ring part. I don't know. It doesn't appear that way. Well, I take it back. It really could be that way. So, but an unimportant detail, I suppose. But a detail nonetheless. Now it comes with 3 sets of weaponry. So here we have kind of like some standard daggers, and there's 2 of each of these. So nice silver for the blade, nice gold for the pommel and the handguard, and then it's probably molded in this, I think it's a brown color, but I'm colorblind, so don't make fun of handicapped people. And then here's the other one, and again, like I said, there's 2 of each weapon. The next set is a little less standard. They're wider at the base of the blade and just kind of taper up to the point. You can see where the edge is on it. Not that it'll cut you, it's not that edged. But anyway, but again, nice silver for the blade, gold for the pommel and the handguard, probably molded in this brown. That's what color it is. So very nice, and again, there's 2. These are like a heavy dagger, I guess. And then the next set is, I guess, a short sword, because they're shorter than the daggers. I mean, longer than the daggers, but shorter than sword you would see normally in the line, I guess. So that's what I'm just going to say, it's a short sword. And again, it's got those same kind of details, the silver blade, the gold pommel and handguard, and more than likely molded in a brown plastic. And it's got a little bit of detail down here. And kind of a boob looking aesthetic for the pommel, and all of that applies as well to this one. And again, you can kind of see the edges on it. So it's a cool piece. And those 3 weapons I don't remember having seen in the line before, so maybe they're new for this character. He also comes with his tail, and it's nicely molded. Lots of detail in there of hairs and stuff. And it looks like there's, I guess it's a wash to kind of help all of that detail stand out. And it looks really good. It could be a dry brush, I suppose, but so very nice looking. He does also come with 2 shoulder armors, pauldrons, whatever you want to call them. And I'm sure we've probably seen this in the line somewhere before, but just not decoed up this way. You can see the strap here. You know, it's a different color, and it looks like it's got some dry brushing on it just to stand out from the rest of it. And then it's got, you know, little bits of paint out here on the edges, and it has a nice leathery like detail to it. It's got a post here to plug into the figure. And this one is pretty much the same, just the opposite side. Got some nice details going on right here, and on the back too, which applies to the other piece as well. He also comes with 2 extra heads, because I want to say somewhere he's like a shapeshifter or something. So the eyes on this one really stand out, and I mean, you can put some shadow on there and they still stand out. So that's really cool looking to me. I love that. It would be even better if they glowed in the dark or were black light reactive, but it's hard to see it on the camera, but there is like a wash or something going on the face as well, or some of the higher, well, I guess in the lower too, but just where some of the details stand out, and maybe even a dry brush a little bit around the eyes. It's hard to tell. Also, the lips are painted, and his 2 little teeth are sticking out too. So let's look at it with this. I don't know if that's really helping any, but cool looking alternate head. And then here he comes with what I like to call the Papa Smurf head, except for the white eyes, the blanked out white eyes. This one, yeah, it stays pretty shady, just period. But it's kind of a darker blue without being like super dark. And then the white beard, and there is some dry brush, I think, going on in the beard. It could be a wash. And then I think there's a little bit of shading going on the face too, like down under the eyes, down the sides of the nose. And he's got some eyebrows in there too. So really cool. It's really not showing up on camera all the stuff going on here, because the hood is very low, and it's making a lot of shadow. But if you get a chance to look at it up close and personal, so next up we have this piece, which comes on the figure in the box, but this works. It's like the hood down when he's wearing the cloak, and it's got some nice textural detail in there. And it looks like a folded down hood. It's got a clasp right here. So that's a cool piece, seeing as how there's no hood on the cloak. And speaking of the cloak, here it is. It's a wired soft goods cloak. And it seems to be up to what I expect out of Four Horsemen soft goods. There's been a few here and there that wires poking out and things like that. Doesn't seem to be going on with this guy. So, and again, no hood on this one, just a hole for his neck to stick through, I suppose. So that's cool. And I guess it's cool that it doesn't have a hood on it, seeing as how the extra heads have the hood on it. And then you can't put a hood on this one, but it does have the piece that slides over him with for the hood down. So let's take a look at the figure real quick. And I say real quick like it's going to be real quick. But just look at all the deco on this face. The eyes, the stripes, the transition of the colors, the markings down here below the eyes and under the eyes as well, and around the mouth. And there's dry brushes and washes and all kinds of stuff going on here in the ears as well. So very nice. And I think this is the piece that people are really looking for out of this set, because it's really a nice looking piece. Not that the rest of it sucks or anything, but this is the most standout piece of it to me, at least. So, you know, we've got a lot of nice textural detail here for the cloth of the arm. We've got leather type details here in the armor, painted buckles. I'm sure there's washes and stuff going on here that I'm just not seeing. You can see the little rivets, I guess, in this piece, and they're all painted, as well as the trim around the edges. Trim here on the gauntlet piece, and the rivets on this are painted, as well as the strap here. And you can see this is just a piece that's, you know, it's molded on, but, you know, it's strapped on to his glove, which everything I said about the alternate hands holds true for these, except they're kind of reaching out, grasping hands, I guess. And he's got this belt on here that's, you know, it's got the loop here on the back for storage. And then he's also got a little loop right here, but the belt runs through it. So maybe like the small dagger goes in there. I'm not sure. But I'm not seeing a whole lot of storage type deals going on here for his weapons. So that might be an issue. I do like this belt buckle. It looks really cool. And we've probably seen this belt somewhere before, or somebody has, I'm sure. I don't think I've seen this piece before, so it's new to me, at least. Buttons painted on the pouches, and that's all the way around. Even details here painted in on the backs. And again, we get down to the pants. Nice textural molded in detail, and then it's got dry brushing on it as well, I think. Could be wash, I don't know. I haven't learned to spot the difference yet, but I'm working on it. Then we get down to his boots, and again, it's got all that nice textural detail in it, the wrinkles in the boots here, and then the textural details for the feet. They're boots, I guess. They do have kind of a heel on, but most, you know, shoes like this do, I guess. And even there's some textural detail even here on the ankle ball. Some wrinkles in there. So that's really neat. You know, I love the detail that they put into these figures. I'm not always happy with every single purchase I make from Four Horsemen, but nothing is perfect. So let's take a look at his articulation. The head is on a ball and hinge, and I could probably get that more than that. Maybe not. So he can look up like that, which is pretty good. He can look down like that, which is about standard for Mythic Legions, I think, with this neck on him. So he's got some chicken neck. He's got some waggle. There's no attitude. He can do the full exorcist at the shoulder, 360 degrees of rotation at the shoulder, and he can raise his arm up that high, which is slightly better than 90 degrees, I think. Single hinge and swivel at the elbow, swivels around 360 degrees, and it gives you a little better than 90 degrees worth of bend. Rotation here at the glove cuff, 360 degrees of it. Rotation at the wrist, 360 degrees. The hands that come on the figure are in and out hinged, and that is on both sides. Nothing in the torso. At the waist, it's on a ball joint or half dumbbell, whatever you want to call it. So he's got some hula. He rotates 360 degrees. He leans left and right a little bit. He can lean back so far that he pops apart, and you just pop him back together. So he leans back that far, which isn't a lot. He leans forward that far, which is a little better. And this guy's sneaky, so I think that's more important than leaning back, I suppose. Standard Mythic Legions legs. They give you the full splits. He can kick forward that far. Leg swings back that far with a little bit of outswing. Let's see. There's a cut here where the thigh and the hip part meet, and it will rotate 360 degrees there. At the knee, single hinge and swivel, swivels around 360 degrees and gives you that much bend, which is a little less than 90 maybe. It might be 90, but I think it's a little less. It's close though. So at the mid shin, there's a boot cut, 360 degrees worth of it. And then at the ankle, there's another 360 degrees of rotation. And then the ankle tilts down that far. It tilts up that far. And then it does have a pin for rocker. So that's a look at the figure. And my friends, if you'll give me a minute, I'll be right back with him all kitted up. And here we go. My friends, I've got him as kitted up as I kind of can. I don't know that I like how this piece just kind of sits here, and it doesn't do right. And if you're gonna put the cloak on, you can't really use this belt to store stuff because it'll stick up and mess this up. And I don't know, I turned the cloak, I thought right side out. Maybe I've got to turn it back the other way. But you know, I gave him one little dagger because I think he's a thief and a sneak. And then he's got that hand, he can hold the keys in. And then he's got one knife in his hand. I guess we could put another one here, but you know, he's sneaky. He wants to be in and out real quick. In fact, let me see if I can turn this cloak over and make it better. Okay, so I'll flip the cloak the other way. It really, it doesn't make a difference, really. This piece just, I don't know, maybe it would sit better without the shoulder pauldrons on it. So, but at least we have a cape for photography purposes, maybe not display purposes so much. But that's how I've got mine kitted out. Of course, you can kit yours out however it is that you want to. But there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Kai Pacha with the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Aza Spirit Bender 2 and the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Gold Skeleton 2. Here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Kai Pacha with from Harbinger Studios Savage Crucible Who-Man. From Boss Fight Studios Epic Hacks Red Sonja. And from X-Ray Studios Combatants Fight for Glory Gold Hilder. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Kai Pacha with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final ramblings on the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Kai Pacha, I'm going to have to tell you, every time, I'm a Star Trek nerd, so every time I say this guy's name, I'm thinking Kai Opaka from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And it's hard to overcome that. I can't help but think that Four Horsemen are Star Trek fans too, or whoever's naming these characters is a Star Trek fan, and that's kind of a nod in that direction. I don't know if that's true. That's just me speculating. But that's just my thing. I think Kai Opaka when I'm trying to say Kai Pacha. So, but this guy's got Kai Pacha. He's not a priest. So, he's not a spokesman for the prophets of Bajor. He's a cat dude. A Jaguarillion? I don't know. I probably said that wrong, and I might not even have the right word. I don't know. All I know is this guy looks cool as hell. I do like all the accessories that he comes with, and my thinking behind all the accessories, even though I think on the package it says he's a shapeshifter. Okay, maybe it doesn't. I just kind of skimmed through it. It doesn't say that. So I guess, you know, those heads are for making two different dudes if you want. And I think that's why we have 3 different sets of weapons, one to go with each of the different heads. This guy is a thief, so I think the small daggers are probably his weapons of choice. He's wanting to move around quickly and quietly, so he's not going to carry a bunch of stuff. The hood down piece In static posing, it doesn't really work. At least in my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary, but it just standing up straight in a vanilla pose, it doesn't work. It does work a little better in action poses like what he's in right now. So there is that. It is a useful piece. And, you know, it's okay. I just don't... Mine generally don't strike action poses on my shelf where they are for space reasons, of course. So, I don't know. I may put him on the shelf without the cloak, which I hate to do because I love these you know, usually their soft goods are very high quality, and in this case it is a high quality piece. There's been a few here recently that just wires poking out and stuff like that. It just wasn't up to their usual standards. I don't know if it was a different factory or what have you, but I love all the accessories that come with this guy. The Jaguarian head that's on him is the coolest of the three heads, but all three of the heads are really cool. I like the orky looking one. The eyes just stand out really cool on that one, and then the Papa Smurf head, it's kind of cool too. So there is that. The tail, I'm not a big fan of these tails. I like the look of them, but I don't think they work the best. And that is not saying it should go to bendy wire, because that's a whole nother thing. But I've had another figure that came with a tail piece like this, and the ball is practically breaking off of it. Just so, again, I don't know if that's the material that it's made of, or I don't know, but this one feels a little different. It feels a little more solid, maybe, or the plastic is a little denser. I don't know. It feels different from the previous one that I've looked at. I love those keys. I don't know if they've come with a figure before. It's the first time I've run across them in this line, and I think they're cool, even though they're all but one keyed to the same lock, it looks like, just from looking at it. But, you know, I mean, that's the name of the toy game, I guess, how much stuff you can reuse those tools on, because they're super expensive, apparently, to have made. And I don't doubt it. So, you know, use them as much as you can where it makes sense. And, you know, with this line, there's a lot of reuse in Mythic Legions, because the parts are swappable and interchangeable. And for some people, that's the biggest draw of this line, is that you can mix and match the parts, and they're all interchangeable, and they all, for the most part, there might be a part or two that doesn't swap over to a certain piece, you know, but for the most part, all the parts are interchangeable. Every single head, you know, every male head will work on a male body, every female head generally works on a female body, and, you know, arms, legs, feet, all boots, all that kind of stuff, you know. And I know I've said in some recent reviews that, you know, we're paying a good chunk of change for these Mythic Legions figures, and, you know, they haven't changed their articulation scheme very much, you know. No switch to double knees or double elbows or anything like that. And then somebody reminded me that you know, it's due to the interchangeability of that, and that's never, well, probably never's a long time, probably never going to change with this line, because that for some folks, that is the main draw of this line. And I sometimes forget that because that's not the main draw of the line for me. I like the way the characters look. I do like some of the backstory. Well, I like the overall backstory. I may not look at like the individual guys' stories as much, but the overarching story, I really enjoy it. And I wish there was more of it, a novel or comic books or, you know, some type of media to go along with the line. And I'm sure that there's handbooks and stuff coming for the role-playing game, or resource books, I guess, that probably delve into that a little more for the role-playing game. So we'll have to see. I did not pick up the role-playing game. I don't have folks to play with, so it would have just been a waste for me. I did, you know, pre-order some of the figures and stuff, so that's cool. But yeah, the one disappointing piece in this is that hood down piece to me. Again, that's my opinion. Your mileage may vary. You may love this piece. I don't love it. Again, for action posing, it seems to work well. For vanilla posing, yeah, not so much. So there is that. I've got to make that decision as to whether or not to action pose him on the shelf or leave the cloak off. I have not decided yet. So, but if I put it one way and I don't like it, I can put it another way, because that's how it works. So I've rambled on long enough, my friends. That does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just to help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.